Well, Biden's open borders are having a huge impact on drugs in America. Authorities have seized and seen a dramatic increase in the amount of drugs coming across the southern border. Migrants are continuing to enter. But here's Governor Greg Abbott yesterday talking about ammunition, guns, and drugs in Texas.
The Texas Department of Public Safety patrols the border every single day, and they've seen an 800% increase in the amount of fentanyl coming across the border. They seized this year enough fentanyl to kill every man, woman, and child in the entire state of New York.
Joining me right now to talk more about this is Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar, who has been incredibly straightforward and honest on this situation, and our viewers and voters appreciate it. Congressman, it's great to have you this morning. Thanks very much for putting all partisan politics aside when dealing with what's important for America. How can you tell, how has the border situation changed? Can you assess where we are today, Congressman?
Well, I mean, I think we still got large numbers of individuals coming in. We still have a lot of stash houses. We still have a lot of people that have been put into 18-wheelers so they can be smuggled in. And again, I know this because I talk to the men and women at the border. I live here at the border. We just got to do a better job. And one of the things that I hope that when the vice president goes to Mexico and to Guatemala, that they get Mexico and Guatemala to do more to secure our borders, because the more we can extend the perimeter from our U.S.-Mexico border down south, the better it is for us.
What are the plans of the vice president to go to Mexico and Guatemala? Do you expect her to also go to the southern border?
No, I don't think she'll come to the southern border. I think what she's going to focus on is more the diplomacy, what we can do with those countries. Again, that's what the vice president and that's what we did in appropriations back 6-7 years ago. So we've done this before. There are monies that we appropriated back in December. There's a lot more money that's been in the pipeline that's been stuck at the State Department, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. And one time we had $800 million. So she's got to find a way to work with Guatemala. I know that El Salvador and Honduras has been a little tricky because of certain points down there. But at least if she can work with Mexico and Guatemala now, that would go a long way. That would help stop the numbers of people coming in. Because what we're doing is, if we don't want to deport people here, that what the U.S. is doing is we're outsourcing that to Mexico and Guatemala to do the job that we feel very uncomfortable in doing here in the United States.
But that's the thing. Why are we uncomfortable, Congressman? I mean, these people are breaking the law. Why shouldn't we just deport them back? And by the way, we already had agreements in place with the northern country that President Trump put in place. We had a Remain in Mexico plan. They overturned those plans. Shouldn't we just go back to where we were, given the fact that we were at a 45-year low under the Trump administration in terms of apprehensions? You just heard Governor Greg Abbott talking about some of the seizures. They seized an incredible amount of guns and ammunition just this weekend. We know, I was at the border a few weeks ago, we know all the drugs coming in. There's more fentanyl coming into this country and seized so far in 2021 than all of 2020. And, you know, we've had 90,000 overdoses in America just in the last year. That fentanyl is getting into the interior of our country, and it is killing Americans. And what we've heard from Kamala Harris is she wants to send more money, hundreds of millions of dollars, $310 billion, in fact, to the northern, $310 million to the northern countries. Is that going to work, sending more money?
Well, you know, it was done both under the Obama administration, the Trump administration. Foreign aid is one thing, but what we ought to do is look at foreign investment down there, have our companies help create jobs down there. But at the same time, you know, we got to make sure that they secure their own southern borders with Mexico and Guatemala, because that will work. On the agreements that Trump had, I would have not canceled them. I would have repurposed them and not start from scratch again. And repurpose it under the Biden, administration to make sure we have a continuous working relationship with those countries.
Of course. So what is Alejandro Mayorkas saying when he says the border is closed? I mean, we have these pictures of this group of 20, 30 people just running, men on, running into La Joya, Texas from the border. How can he say the border is closed when we're watching it with our own eyes? People are running on the road that is parallel to the Rio Grande. In broad daylight.
La Joya is in my district, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, I mean, look, saying that the border's closed is one thing, but we got to have actions that that match our words, and we got to do more to deport folks. Look, last month we had 178,000 people that came in. Out of that, 111,000 were deported. But we're not showing any of those deportation. 111,000 is a lot of people that got deported, mainly under Title 42. And if they get rid of Title 42, I'm worried that you're going to all of a sudden have thousands and thousands of new people that are going to come here and come into the United States, wait for years for a immigration court hearing. So we just got to be smarter on how we secure the border. We can't say it's closed. We got to match our actions to the words.
Well, you're absolutely right. If Title 42 goes away, forget about it. I mean, you think it's bad now, it's going to be much worse. Let me bring in Sean Duffy, formerly a colleague of yours. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Congressman. Listen, good to see you. You're on the southern border. You're a Democrat, and I always think that politics is local, right? We always reflect the values and the viewpoints of the people we represent, not always the parties. But listen, if we don't start turning people back at the border, sending people back home, isn't the message given that the border is open and you can come on up and into the country? So the question is the Biden administration listening to you and the advice that you're giving as a border congressman, number one? And number two, what kind of impact is this having on your communities, on your constituents?
Yeah, hey, Sean, good talking to you again. Yes, you're right. Look, they don't have to listen to me, but they can listen to other members of Congress on the border. They can listen to the sheriffs and the police officers, to the mayors that live here. We don't just come and visit. We live here. We live here. And I think they need to listen to the communities a lot more. If you look under, let's say, the Secretary of Homeland, Jake Johnson, under Obama administration, look what he was doing. He actually was returning people back. There were Democrats that complained about how many people Obama deported. In fact, Obama deported more people than Trump did. But they were following what the law was. You can be compassionate. You can be compassionate, but at the same time, you got to enforce the laws. Otherwise, you have no border sovereignty.
Yeah, and it impacts the American people, bottom line. Congressman, it's great to see you. Thanks very much. Please come back soon.